Hello folks, welcome back to the channel. My name is Joel Duggan and this is the Friday LEGO Let's Chat. We are starting the Polaroid OneStep SX-70 camera set today, which was sent in by the lovely Cosmic Dancer. So thank you very much, Cosmic. And thank you, Cosmic, for the link in chat that is to the LEGO page for this set. So if you want more details about it, you can go check it out at lego.ca or lego.com, wherever you're hanging your LEGO hat. And we're just going to dive right in because why not? It's Friday. The coffee is hot. The weather is gloomy. So it's a good day to be inside. Sturdy instruction manual. Nothing left in there. Before we ditch the box, you can see that there's more than just the camera. There's actually some custom LEGO printed Polaroids. I'm hoping I don't have to put stickers on those. Looks like we're probably going to have to put some stickers on the film box. And that looks like there's everything inside. So there's the film box, the little bits of Polaroid film, and then of course the camera itself. It is 3.5 inches by 3.5 inches, so it's not going to be overly large. I don't remember how big these were back when they first came out. I imagine someone could probably look that up and let me know in chat. But this is a LEGO Ideas kit. So this is, if you go to, I think it's legoideas.com, then you can see a bunch of different sets that are getting voted on. So if you see something cool there that you like, you can join the site and vote on it. And then sometimes they get turned into full-on kits. I want to say we've done a couple of these. What was another LEGO Ideas kit that we did? I feel like we've done another one. I don't remember which one it was though. Does anybody know? Anybody recall if I've done another LEGO Ideas kit? All right, so we've got that. Bag number 1, 2, 3 and a bit, and 4. We'll probably get through bags 1 and 2 today, would be my guess. And special bits, probably with some stickers, and then obviously this as well. I'm just gonna cut those. Ideas.lego.com. Thank you for the correction, Cosmic. It's been a while since I've been there. One of the sets from the legoideas.com got turned into the blacksmith shop, I think. And I know Alistair on the Citadel Minecraft server used that as inspiration for his blacksmith build in Avalon. So we have a nice softbound instruction book. We've got, oh, looks like these are just cards. So they're not actually Lego pieces. They're just pre-printed cards. I'm on board. No stickers involved. Happy about that. There are some stickers there, but I'm glad we don't have to do the big fancy stickers. I was expecting the branding to be stickers. Cool. That. And I'm going to open this up as well. And this actually is perforated. This is the first time I've seen a perforated bag from LEGO. I thought they were supposed to be switching to paper bags, but I have yet to encounter one of those. So we've got the plates. I feel like these are probably going to be something we use early on. And then we've got this. Roughly hand size, if I remember correctly. First thing I saw on the LEGO site, Ideas site, and I won it, is called the Rocky Reef Restoration. I wish I had more control from my iPad to share websites live on stream. Rocky Reef Restoration. Oh, that's really cool, Cosmic. It's like a jellyfish and there's stuff inside the jellyfish. Is it a jellyfish or is it a submarine? It looks like it might be like a jellyfish shaped submarine. Probably with some environmental message as well. That's really cool. I like that. MindTripMedia, thanks very much for the 100 bits. Appreciate it. Good to see you. Hope you're having a good Friday. And I appreciate you have to be lurking while you're working. If you'd like to share the stream with other friends and family or just coworkers, if you're in an environment that lurking and working is allowed, then folks, share the Twitch channel. There's a tweet out there. There's an Instagram story out there. These are elastic bands, so we'll remember that those are in there. Close that up for now. You know what? I'm going to put it back in here, just so I don't lose it. Famous last words. And I guess I should peek to see what we need for bag 1. Aha, we are going to need that stuff. Okay, cool. And we're actually going to be building the film case first. Film envelope. Good to know. It's going to be a colorful start. Probably don't need those right now. Looks like we will need those. It's the first build in a while that we've had that's used primary colors. It's a jellyfish-shaped submarine. The reef restoration, rocky reef restoration. Very cool. There's a pink bag. It's like Christmas. Yep. There are stuff and things in here. Now, they probably have an awful lot of information and stuff. Yeah, I'm not reading. I don't really feel like reading all of this online. I feel like they have a lot of this on the lego.ca website. So I will let you all go and read that, but they usually have some cool design things. I read little bits out sometimes on stream, but I imagine you can probably still buy these cameras. They might be vintage and hard to find, but you can, I imagine you can still get them. Switch this. Seems to be more of these. That. True Purple subscribing tier 1 for 61 months. Thanks so much, True Purple. Really appreciate it. I was talking about this on the Discord recently. The Twitch subscription prices for Canada, the UK, and Australia are going up by $1 each, respectively, in those currencies as of March 28th. So just know that that's coming. Not something obviously within my control. And if you want to, there's a post on my Discord where I talk about how much I appreciate everyone subbing and the things that you get when you sub, as well as some alternatives if you decide that it's too much, if you need to budget and that extra $1 is just not worth it for you, then there are alternatives, including just simple things like, you know, sharing the stream and my feed and my posts and my podcast with friends. That's all free, doesn't cost you a thing. And it goes a long way. It really, it's a numbers game. It's the number of eyeballs that you can generate on content is the idea, and then eventually statistically, some of those eyeballs, or in case of podcasts, I guess, ear holes, will eventually support. So if you want to share the word, then that goes a long way. Because it's that kind of word of mouth marketing I can't buy. I could spend money on Facebook advertisements or Instagram advertisements or advertisements in other podcasts. And it really is kind of a shot in the dark. But when you've got a friend that says, hey, I really like this content, you should check it out, it makes a world of difference. It's really warm in here today. We are switching from snowy weather to a rainfall warning today, which sucks because I was going to go to the gym. And for those of you that don't know, I walk to the gym. But it's about a 35-minute walk. And it's going to be raining enough, I think, that it's going to be absolutely miserable. So I might not go. I might just work out at home. One of those alternatives that I mentioned in the Discord is, of course, the Patreon. And so if you want to check out patreon.com/JoelDuggan or Patreon for any of your other favorite creators, because very often content creators will have a Patreon page. And it usually offers a bunch of different options in terms of ways to support them. And both Twitch subscriptions and Patreon subscriptions get you access to the same Discord. So if Discord community is the reason why you support the perk that you're most interested in, then check out Patreon. A walk in the cold rain is super good for you. It's not good for my mood. I sense sarcasm, big head face. I sense sarcasm. Speaking of sarcasm, has anybody seen the first episode of Avatar: The Last Airbender, the live action show on Netflix? I feel like the Sokka sarcasm was strong, perhaps too strong. I liked it. I won't talk any spoilers. I mean, chances are people have seen the cartoon, so like I don't think there's going to be any giant plot spoilers, but how they handle it and how they move forward, I think, in the Netflix show will be interesting. I think it's going to be kind of cool to see if maybe some younger people that may have missed the cartoon because they were too young might end up liking the show and then go back and watch the cartoon. It'd be kind of fun. So far, I would say I liked it. It felt like a pilot. So I'm hoping that over time, the acting gets better. And I honestly, maybe not even the acting. I feel like the dialogue. I've talked about this on the Citadel Cafe before, but there's something about a fantasy show where they can't stay consistent between people that talk without contractions and people that talk with them. So I know there's a lot of comic relief in Avatar: The Last Airbender. And I know that that's supposed to be kind of like what that's for. Like talking like a person would talk in 2024, or I guess whenever that show was made. But I do feel like there's a weird combination of some people saying like, I'll get right on that. And other people saying, I will get on that. That kind of weird back and forth. It's like, well, pick one. I appreciate that, you know, it's this cool fantasy world with all this special effects and world building and costuming. And then someone's like, hey, what's up? And you're like, kind of breaks the immersion for me a little bit. Getting old cameras isn't an issue. Getting film that is still working condition is quite another thing. My dad collects old cameras. I know a bit more about them than I care to. Meadow, nice. Yeah. Yeah, I'd imagine film would be the thing. I have a film camera here. I took film I took photography as part of my fine art degree, and I have an old film camera. The only digital camera I have besides my phone is actually this one, the Sony A6100 that I use for this stuff. Fit there, really. I always thought it would be cool to get into digital photography when it first came out, but I was into digital illustration, so that's where I hung my hat. So, big head face, you were not being sarcastic? You actually think that a walk in the cold rain is good for you? I disagree. You say cold rain, and I say Canadian cold rain. Like Nova Scotia, there is a foot of snow on the ground cold rain, which will turn everything to slush. I think I win. Even if it would be neutral for me physically, mentally, I think I would want to murder people with a spork. So we'll stay out of the rain. As long as you're covered and not getting soaked, as long as it's just rain. Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, 35 minutes walking in the rain, you're going to get wet. It doesn't matter what you're wearing. The kind of boots that you'd have to wear to stay dry would not be comfortable to walk 3.5 kilometers in. Blast Jordan, good to see you. Meadow says I was into photography as a teen, but lost interest more and more with digital. I don't miss the developing process. I much prefer the instant feedback of knowing what the photo looks like, being able to adjust immediately on the fly. Phone cameras that have screens and all that kind of stuff, I think, are great. I don't find digital cameras that easy to use because the LCD screens on them for feedback are, outside of framing, they're too small. I can't see what's going on. So I prefer something like an iPhone for photography. Immediate feedback. I took some really good vacation photos on my iPhone, actually, when that was a thing, when I used to travel. I've got nothing against travel now, I just don't have time. I feel like that when I go out anyway, rain or no rain, my general mood is sporkification. Yeah. Well, that's just 2024, I think, in general. Someone asks, what's your general mood? Murder. Why do you ask? Then feign surprise. These are a little close together, but I'll live. Sometimes with this knolling process, it's about filling in gaps as much as it is lining things up. You've seen someone else build this, Dan? It's fairly new. I've seen a couple of posts from JK Brickworks on YouTube, but he's building the nature one, the bugs, which is also a very cool set. And what he's doing, I think, after he's built them is that he's then trying to make them move. Kind of his thing. This is going to get all kinds of messy because all of these are different lengths. Oh, will that fit in there somewhere? Probably. Like I said, all over the map. There were probably tidier ways to do this, but here we are. Ta-da. The pink should be front and center, says Cosmic. There are not enough pink pieces to spell no in the middle here. Oh, Alistair has this set too? Did he build it live or did he just share pictures of it? Maybe. I didn't realize that Alistair had this set too. Oh, did you tell me that? Maybe you did tell me that, Cosmic. So we need one of these and three of those. Cut those out. We need to start with this. Put that so that'll work. I'm like this with books too. I don't want to crease the binding. It'll be all right once we get a couple pages in. So we'll need one of these. And then this goes under here, and then another one like that. Oh, that's what it was, Cosmic. Right, you sent him one of these as well. I haven't talked to him about it. That's probably good because then it might spoil it a little bit, but maybe we'll have a chat after. Glad that this is not a sticker. Time Zero Super Color. Sturdy piece. I really like it when they break up panels like this. They could have just had one piece here, but it's more interesting when they break it up with plates like that. It's a decent size. So then we need all of these. I just carefully put away. Normally these go on last, but I guess we're probably starting the body of the camera after this. So we go blue, green, yellow, orange, and what I'm assuming should have been magenta. I guess that's still magenta. It's not really pink, it's more like a magenta. Reminds me of the magenta blocks in Minecraft, actually. The urge to troll you all and put one of these in the wrong space is really, really high. And then we've got the Polaroid piece and the black piece. Where's that? There it is. That goes there and there. And it goes like that. That's pretty sharp. Not bad, Lego. Not bad. Whew, sneeze snuck up on me. Sorry about that. All right, now we're onto the giant black plate. I say giant. Giant, relatively speaking. I'm curious about what might be happening inside of this camera build, because it looks fairly straightforward and simple from the outside, but that usually means that there's some cool spacing or potential function that the designers at Lego build into it. And sometimes it's kind of good to skip over the write-up at the start. So you build the thing and then go back and read the write-up. I find that can be kind of fun sometimes too. All right, I guess we put that aside for now. Oh, I don't miss those days. Big head face of the BattleNet launcher not working. Not my favorite either. all 4 of these. Some hinge functionality. The only thing about builds like this, much like the space shuttle, Discovery shuttle, I feel like there's just gonna be a lot of black and white pieces. There's highlights of color, but I feel like there's gonna be a lot of black and white. Goes this way. Give me 1 second, folks. Be right back. I realize one of the things I might need for my Lego streams is if I have to pop up, that's not like a 5-minute scheduled break, but if I just need like a couple seconds, I need to be able to put like a quick be right back screen up. And then this attaches here. What do you think of the typewriter Lego set? I might have asked this before. Sorry if I'm repeating stuff. No. I think it's cool. Maybe, is that the other Lego Ideas set that I was thinking of? I didn't build it, but Pixel Riffs, his partner, I think he got it for them as a gift, Christmas, birthday. I don't remember. He got it for Kay. Yeah, it's cool. I mean, it's not something that I would necessarily get for myself. I mean, all Lego is inherently cool to me. It's just a matter of, you know, is it something that I can display? Is it something that fits with the kind of things that happen on the channel? I've been thinking more as I've been talking about potentially getting a webcam for streams, that it would be good to have more stuff in the background. So I'm thinking about what might be behind me, how to then display certain things. Like, for example, I have a Nintendo, like a Nintendo Entertainment System. It's unfortunately not mine from when I was a kid, but it was my dad's partner's son's from when he was a kid, and he's only a couple years older than me. So it's very much of the same era. And I don't have any games for it, and I don't know if I even I could probably figure out how to hook it up to my new TV, but I don't think I'd want to use it to play anything on it. I just think it's a cool shelf piece. And as a background for designing, or as an element for designing a background for streaming, I think having an original Nintendo Entertainment System behind you would be kind of a cool thing. So between that and some Lego, which would be like stuff like this, what else would I put behind me? Probably some nerdy stuff like the Discovery. What else would I do? Some of the Star Wars helmets would look cool. I've got some stuff in here that just doesn't fit in my living room that would go up. It's very brightly colored. That goes like that. And then these. This goes here. Gonna have a creeper in there in the background. I have a little, it's not a Lego model. It's like a, I'm not sure what, I think it's an official Minecraft statue that Alistair gave me for my birthday one year. It's still in the plastic box. Like, I mean, it's out of the wrapper, but it's still in the actual clear plastic display box. That would probably go up there. I don't really care for creepers. Like, they're not something that I think is really important to me. How many of these I need? 12. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. It would be cool maybe if I ever found a Minecraft set that I liked, but Minecraft sets, they're so expensive for what you get. They're right up there with the Star Wars kits, but I feel like the Star Wars kits you get a lot more for what you pay for. Katana, hello, hello. The day is treating me well so far. I did some graphic work for the new Lego stream this morning. Straightened out some of the things that weren't working. The leaderboard is working, by the way. That I fixed that. Or at least it should be. We'll know if it says True Purple up there as the latest subscriber. Then we'll know that things are working. Did that, and then did some adulting, dishes, that kind of thing. And watched the first episode of The Last Airbender on Netflix, the live action version, while I had breakfast/lunch. I'm back to intermittent fasting, so that means I'm not eating breakfast until... Uh-oh, did I put this in the wrong spot? I did. This is supposed to touch the gray pieces. That makes more sense. Go ahead, bacon and eggs and toast at like 12 o'clock. Which works out pretty well because that gives me just enough time to eat breakfast/lunch and then start a stream at 1. But that's why I'm disappointed about the rain. Although it's supposed to rain today, but it hasn't started yet. It was supposed to be like pouring by now. So I don't know whether I'm going to risk it and go to the gym or whether I should just hold tight and wait for the monsoon. Because what will likely happen is I will go to the gym and it will not be raining. But when I come home from the gym, it will be raining sideways, which I would not like. But that's it. That's the whole day so far. I mean, I was up fairly early. I got up around 6:30 or 7, had coffee, watched some Hermitcraft. I thought most of this was going to be on the outside, but I guess it's all going to be inside. I really like what Etho was doing on Hermitcraft this year. Cool. An interesting little set of pieces. Very specific corner construction, it looks like. Turn it this way. It's kind of cool that the flavor that they've chosen with the inside pieces, the pieces that you don't see, that they use different colors for measurements. They've gone with those primary pieces because it matches with like the Polaroid branding. That's really slick. You've got this really nice curved, you know, machined plastic corner there. That's really cool. Yes, I know I'm a Lego nerd. Not so much that I know the names of all the pieces, but enough of a nerd that that is cool. I'm a riot at dinner parties. Word Nerdify. Good to see you, SweetSandi. Hello. Did I see you come in? I don't know if I did. The Minecraft Fox set is cute. I agree, Cosmic. That's a cute one. I don't know if cute is definitely my Lego motif or not. All right, let's do this again. Same thing, just the reverse. That's, you gotta be you really have to be thinking to come up with this as a solution to this shape. Like that fits in perfectly. Got little rails. It is a little bit wobbly now. I've never seen these before. Spacer piece. I feel like these are probably more playset pieces. They look like they're meant to have things like slide along them, right? This is obviously where the film goes. Interesting that it's off center. Bold of you to think that I'm just a Lego nerd? Well, one can hope. Meadow, you've been years of not watching Hermitcraft. Interesting. I found, I won't name any names, but I feel like there's been a couple of situations out of the Hermit's control where things got stale for some of the creators that I used to watch a lot of. And I think, and there's no shade being thrown, I think it's just in any, this could happen to any content creator. We're just talking Hermitcraft for the sake of talking Hermitcraft, but and I've experienced this, I think, on West Hill, in that it's when things like the 118 update take much longer than expected, and Hermitcraft or a server like Hermitcraft is expecting to reset and start over and generate all that new interest. When they decide to not do that because they're waiting for Mojang to change things up, I think that could be hard on some people that are used to that refresh. But then you got to come up with like 2 years worth of ideas on a server, you know? Now, granted, they've got friends they can springboard off of and like collabs and all that kind of stuff. And we have that on the Citadel too, but it's not as often. And this little piece goes here. I think the challenging thing for me, especially at the start of Hermitcraft, was the luck of the draw was all of the people that I follow tended to be in the same groups when they started off the server. So I found myself fast forwarding through the first episode of a lot of people, even the second episode, because I'd already seen that interaction from the other person's perspective, you know? So I feel like that was challenging for me to like get really into it, because I was like, well, I've seen this before. I feel bad fast forwarding because I know this person worked on this content, but like I've seen this conversation just from a slightly different perspective. This is neat. What are we building here? I don't know if they could make it any brighter. Wow. Something to do with holding the film or pushing the film, something. That's like that, that's like that. And this goes. Oh, I see, this slides in. Okay. I was right. Something to do with sliding the film. I love how this little plastic piece with the plate on it is just high enough where it creates a support, but still allows enough freedom for this to move around. That's really cool. See? Lego nerd. Not caught up on the Spawn Chunks just yet. Is the monthly Minecraft Hangout tomorrow? Yes. Yeah, tomorrow at 10 a.m. Atlantic, UTC minus 4 hours. For people that are on the Spawn Chunks Discord. And we did announce that at the top of the show this week. But if you haven't listened, then you don't know. Which reminds me, myself or Johnny should put a post in the Spawn Chunks Discord reminding people that 10 a.m. tomorrow is the hangout. Right, that's done. Got these two pieces here. This is where having big hands starts to kick you in the butt. I love all the colors. It's really refreshing to build something with so many bright colors on it. Goes there, and this goes in here. Goes like that. Goes like that. It just keeps it so fun, right? And then this right in there. That's a really small space. So imagine the card will drop down and that'll get pushed out, and when you push it back, another one will drop down and then it'll push out. There's a very, very thin crack down there. I'm hoping this is going to be attached to something on the outside that'll shoot it out. Fingers crossed. Bag number 2, which we will start right after a brief break. We're getting there. That seems important. Yeah, really. Later streams start tomorrow. It may not. I'm probably going to be eating immediately after the Spun Trunks hangout, so it should be enough time. I don't want to push tomorrow's stream later because in case I have to go to the gym tomorrow, because if I don't get there today, I'll want to go tomorrow. So we'll have to see. But it should be enough time. I also need like 0 prep for what we're doing in Minecraft right now, so I'm not too worried about it. So folks, if you're new to the channel, I take a break once an hour, or with the LEGO Let's Chats, it's roughly whenever I finish a bag. It usually takes about an hour per bag, depending on the size of the bag, but we're at that time now, so I'm going to step away for about 5 or 6 minutes, refresh the drinks, grab a stretch. I will be right back. And we're back. Bag number 2. And I'm embarrassed that I forgot this. The Lego Lighthouse, the motorized lighthouse, was the other Lego Ideas kit that we've put together. I've looked at others, and I think have them on my list. But the lighthouse, which was also sent in by Cosmic Dancer, that was the last one that we had from Lego Ideas. The only one that we've had from Lego Ideas besides this one. Icons. Lego Icons is the one that we've done a lot of. Icons are things like Ecto-1, Optimus Prime, the DeLorean, the time machine from Back to the Future. Those are the icon ones. And then everything else is branded. So it's like Star Wars. I'm looking around my studio now, looking at the boxes. Yeah, almost everything I have is Star Wars. With the exception of like Lord of the Rings, Brickheads, and the NASA set. The rest of, there's a handful of icons, 2 ideas, and then everything else is Star Wars. Page 40. GrandpaCrafter, good to see you. Hope you're well. Trying to move the mic a little bit closer here. Something else that I've mentioned before Christmas, but I have yet to do, is dig my box of Lego out of my storage closet from when I was a kid. Because I have that. There's a couple of pirate sets. I have no idea if all the pieces are there, no idea if the instructions are there. So there could be a stream where I attempted to make something and then we just don't have the pieces to finish it. So I'd have to be careful with that. It might be a longer stream bit of content where like I have to go through the whole set and make sure I have all the pieces before I start to build it. So there's that option as well. This isn't necessarily a bag with a lot of big pieces in it, but it's still a decent sized bag because of all the small bits here. That's really cool. For folks wondering about the instruction booklet, I usually just use it because it gets me a decent angle. I can start off relatively straight. I still drift, but at least it gets me off on the right foot. I like to think I'm pretty good at doing straight lines. Word Nerdify. Good luck. Have a good afternoon. Thanks for coming by. I really need to get on adding more animated emotes. Whenever I see people use them, I always think, man, those are really cool. And I have the skills. It's just a matter of finding or making the time, rather. I'm trying to expand and get more happening on some of my social media platforms. I've been a quiet consumer of TikTok for a long time, but I think I have to start contributing and making stuff. It's going to be podcast focused, I think. I started a TikTok account for the Spawn Chunks. I already have one for me just for viewing stuff. And I think I need to start including the Citadel Cafe content. I'm not going to make the Citadel Cafe its own TikTok. That seems kind of dumb. But I will be probably trying to find a way to clip some audio from my podcasts. Speaking of, if anybody that listens to the Citadel Cafe wants to volunteer to go back through some recent episodes and give me the timestamps for some funny moments, then that would be appreciated. I don't generally go back and listen to my own podcasts. I'm usually listening to podcasts by other people. Every now and again, when I'm concerned about a quality, like a quality check or something, usually it's audio quality. Although I do like to listen back to the Spawn Chunk interviews that we do, because I feel like it's an opportunity to become a better interviewer by reviewing that stuff. Because as we get the opportunity to have more diverse guests, especially guests from Mojang, then I really want to make sure that, you know, we have a good like the people that come on the podcast have a good experience, and that we foster good conversation. I think we're pretty good at it now, 5 years in, but it's very often just Johnny and I. So it's good to know sometimes when you've got a guest come in, that because it happens so seldom, that you can still register that like, yeah, no, the interview skills are still on point. It's more of a conversational show anyway, so it's not like a harsh reality of shifting to like a hardcore interview. We're not exactly hard-hitting journalists. We're just talking about Minecraft. Cosmic volunteers. Appreciate it. I would imagine it would be a pretty easy task. Like I would be the one doing all the editing and exporting stuff. I just need kind of like a nice direction. So a place to start, I guess, would be the best way to describe it. These little 1x1s are like the bane of my existence. If you're ever doubting that you're all thumbs, just try to move 1x1 Lego pieces around. The universe will confirm you are indeed clumsy. Which is funny, because as an artist, you'd think like fine motor skills are up there, but there's also a scalability as to how small my fine motor skills can get, because I'm a full-size human. I wonder if there's, you know, a conversation that happens at Lego where like people are like, these pieces are so small, and then someone's like, whatever, you know, the kids don't care because the kids have small hands. And then someone pipes up and says, what about the adults that like Lego? They can suffer with the rest of us. What is that? 246? 68. This is where I cheat, and I end up using like a long piece to line these up. Just because this is just, even for someone as patient as me, doing this is just a real pain. And it's not that I don't like it, it's that it's just too finicky to get them to be as nice and lined up as I want them to be. But then you do stuff like this just to be that guy best we can. It up there. You still have this problem even though you're not a full-size human? That's fair. I think I've told the story before. I bought my mom the Lego Orchid, and mom's in her 70s, and she loves the end result, but she cursed me a blue streak while she was putting it together because she found it very finicky and frustrating and very small, and she wears glasses, and I found it hard to see what was going on and all the stuff. And I on one hand I was happy she liked it, but on the other hand a little bit dismayed that she also said don't ever buy me another Lego set again. I was like, all right, you're welcome, I guess. But you know that Lego has designed a really cool object when it's not something like, I have Lego in my living room. I don't expect other people to have Lego in their living room. I certainly would not expect my mother to have Lego in her living room, but she does. It sits on an end table in the living room. And at first glance, like, unless you know what's going on, like, you would never know that it's a Lego plant. You can tell it's not a real plant, but like, you can't tell that it's Lego at a first glance, right? We're going to stick all these together. Otherwise, they will just roll all over the place. And I don't really have any clue what this is going to be. I mean, I'm assuming some of it is going to be the lower part of the body of the camera, but some of this stuff, it has to be internal working. So this is going to be fun to see what Lego has in store for all of this. Pretty straight, not bad. The botanical collection is such a good idea. Yeah, did you see the big bouquet of roses that they put out this year? They look really good. I like the succulents. The one I bought my sister for her birthday, Christmas. I can't remember. But I really like that one. Uh-oh. Was that just there? That was probably just there. Probably missed that. Probably drove several of you crazy. Screaming at the computer screen. Watching the VOD on YouTube later. Joel! You missed a piece. Missed a piece. Page 40, right? Ah, yes. Sides. This is where it would be handy to have tweezers. But it's my own doing. So this goes on the corner like that. Oh, I missed a step. Goes across here first. Again, I like that they break that up. That paneling. It's cool. They do it on Lego ships all the time for Star Wars. Elkhorn 95, the mighty Elkhorn. How goes the Friday? Good to see you. A giant mural of flowers? This is news to me, Cosmic. Is this something planned for the home? This feels too tall, but I'll trust the process. There's a piece that goes there, that goes there. Normally they stick to the same colors. I'm surprised this piece isn't blue, because for the parts underneath, all the green stuff was on the right and all the blue stuff was on the left, and now we just got green on both sides. Crashing at home, sleeping off an allergy assault. That's no good, Elkhorn. I know the feeling. I know the feeling. I am unfortunately allergic to cats. And yet there are 9 cats that live on this floor of the apartment building. There's not supposed to be, but there are. And I notice a huge difference in just my respiratory health in the couple hours that I go to the gym. You know, it's a big open space, it's clean, there's no dust, there's no cat dander, there's no carpet. I don't have any carpet in my apartment, but the hallway of the building has carpet. Oh, stuck. That is very peculiar. I'm curious to see what these are going to be used for. It's either going to be something functional or it's going to be like an interesting way to attach a vertical wall somehow. Oh, one of these is wrong. Needs to get turned around. 9? Yes, Elkhorn, 9. I won't get into it beyond that, but yes. And yet, they won't let me have a dog. I joke around with friends as I get frustrated with the state of house prices in the housing market in Canada. Very difficult for me right now, trying to find a house on a single income. And the joke is that it's the most expensive dog house I'm ever going to buy. Because I'm more than likely going to have to buy something that's like a fixer-upper, which is fine, because it means I don't have to deal with some millennial Renault flip, crap, and just fix the mistakes that somebody else made. I'll have a chance to just do it right the first time. But in the process of that, when it is still something that I'm probably going to tear apart, probably going to alter in some way, it's an excellent opportunity to bring a puppy into the house where if it pees on the floor, I don't care. That carpet's getting ripped up anyway. I feel like that could be advantageous on a number of fronts. I know, Sandy, you have a dog. And somebody in Discord posted a picture of their doodle hiking in the Alps, of all places, I think, the other day. Does anybody else in the chat right now have a dog, out of curiosity? And if you do, what breed of dog do you have? Just out of curiosity. Was it AnnaGram? That makes sense. That makes sense. It was one of the folks from Northern Europe. 2 Whippets, father and son, Meadow. Very cool. That's the same kind of dog they have on The Simpsons, right? They're like little greyhounds, or they look like little greyhounds. They're sight hound related, I want to say. This stuff is so specific. I'm really curious to see how this is all going to come together, but I don't think there's enough pieces in this bag for us to get a clear picture of how it's all going to work. We might have to wait until next week. Little cousin to the greyhound. Very cool. And father and son, that's interesting. I've heard of people taking brothers and sisters sometimes from the same litter. Although I hear it's not a good idea to bring in 2 puppies at the same time. I hear it's much better to, if you're going to have 2 dogs, have 1 dog a year and then get another dog, which sounds like maybe that's what you did. Instead of litter mates, you get like a son or a daughter or something. Bit big for lap dogs, but that doesn't stop them. I've seen Irish wolfhounds think that they're lap dogs. So yeah. Same thing with American bullies. That's my favorite. I want to get an American bully. And I would get a pocket American bully if I was in an apartment or a condo. But if I have a house, I would just get whatever standard, probably standard or XL. XLs are a lot of dog, but if you get them from the right breeder and they're not like overly beefy, like I like the athletic American bullies, not the big hulky ones that can't stand up. I prefer the ones that are healthy and able to run around and enjoy themselves. That goes there. Really cool internal colors. I know I keep on saying this, but it's so fun after doing so many builds to have gray and stuff. I mean, I say that, and we also had a really cool build last time with the green and red piranha plant. Hunter555 has a black lab. She insists on affection at all times, which is not so convenient when eating. Yeah. The most experience I have with a dog was an American Staffordshire Terrier mix. And she was sweet. But food driven. So like if you were eating dinner, you had her full attention. Which is fine. She never begged. She just would stare. Like just lasers. I sense that you have food. And if I stare at you long enough, ultimately you will give in. But she never made any noise. Actually rarely barked. I think I only ever heard her bark a couple of times. And those get to go click down, it looks like. Oh, not that far. I think those have to be just low enough that the photos come out, but not so low that they block it. And this goes in here. So this is probably like the front sort of like trapdoor thing. I'm assuming that's what those are for. Oh, that's cool, Meadow. So you had the dog since he was a pup, and then the breeder wanted to match. Yeah. That's cool. So she was you, but in dog form? You know, not that far off. I am indeed a food-driven human. Apparently, it's if you've got a dog that's food-driven, it from what I can tell, it makes things a lot easier. Especially in situations where like you want to do a solid recall. And if they know that they're getting a little treat at some point. That step. Oh, there's a side window? Neat. I feel like that goes the other way. Yeah. There's a little groove inside of this piece. I was wondering what was going to go here. Neat. You're food driven? I had no idea. I know, shocker, right? I didn't share a picture because I had already shared a picture, I think, of pasta earlier in the week. But I made gnocchi for the first time. Well, it's for the third time. First successful time. I feel like where it came out how it should, but I've never had it made by someone that knows what they're doing, so I don't have a reference. And I like it. The flavor's good, but it's a little mushy. There's a lot of potato in them, so they do tend to be more potato than not. Because it's like 4/5 potato, 1/5 flour. Those things are awesome, by the way. Don't lose them. I mean, I say don't lose them. Every kit comes with one. I feel like I have more than I know what to do with now. I've got like 8 of them. You don't feed your dogs from the table? The only time I've ever seen that it was the end, you know, like we're done here, lick the plate because you've been good sort of deal. I've got a friend, a couple friends actually that are veterinarians, and one of them has said like dogs have been eating scraps from the table for years, so it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's more about the behavior. Like, do you want them to expect it or not, I guess. And this goes here. Oh, so this is the side part. Interesting. I didn't realize that it had an angle like that. I guess because the front is so square that you don't think about it having an angle on it. That's really cool. I'm not sure if you can see that. Yeah, slopes in. Oh, that's a better angle. Cosmic, did you guys feed your dog from the table when you had one? The pink and blue is your favorite combination? Yeah, very Minecrafty. That's for sure. I've been watching, like I said earlier today, I've been watching Etho, and I love the colors that he's using. It's making me really jealous that I've been in this gray, brown, medieval zone for such a long time. I'm really looking forward to getting out there. The hard part when I go to do sci-fi is to not fall into that same trap of like white, black, and gray. I want to use a lot of color, but Etho's doing like a Asian style build. He never really said anything about its inspiration. He just said, here's the color palette. It almost looks like Encanto. It's not quite that bright, but it looks like it's got some Central Latin America vibe to it. That would be a really cool inspiration for Minecraft, actually, because a lot of like Mexican and Central America have very, very bright builds. Brazil, like Chile, those kind of places. Really bright housing in a lot of spots. That could be a fun area on the Citadel, rather than focusing on, say, like one specific theme, like South American or Asian. Take like an area on the server and say, this is something that has to be inspired by real world architecture. So it doesn't matter if you've chosen Roman or, you know, Ming Dynasty era stuff, but everything in that area has to be inspired by something in the real world. That could be quite fun. Now this piece feels very specific. More about the behavior. If it's not spicy or chocolate, there's a chance they might get leftovers in their bowls, just not directly from the table. Oh, that's a good way to roll. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, Meta. That makes a lot of sense. Very specific little piece. Oh, I sense a mechanism forthcoming. We're using the gear. We've used these before in Star Wars builds. I see these and I never immediately think they're going to be put together to make a column, like a shaft for a mechanical thing. It's never the first thing that I think of. I always think about like using them like Lego pieces, like spaced around, but like it's such a cool way to include, if you need one of these of various length, just include enough of these pieces that you can get there rather than one specific piece each time. Clever. That, that, this again, and that again. Mythical Sausage did Encant over season 2 of Empires. Did he? I didn't watch anybody but Pixel Riffs on Empires. A little bit of Whip because we had him on the show, and I think I watched a little bit of Mythical. But at the time we had Mythical on the show, I think he was doing his own survival world. I don't think he was doing Empires. Or when we had him on, it wasn't much of an interview. It was more of a, he was filling in for Pix when Pix was out of town, I think. And so we were talking more about like what was going on in Minecraft news-wise rather than like specifically what the whole show wasn't about what he was doing on Empires. They have a new, that reminds me actually, they haven't said much, at least I've not seen it. Pixel Riffs on Twitter might have more, but I haven't been online today. There's a new SMP launching that Pixel Riffs is part of tomorrow. I don't know the specific times, but Pix said, without getting into details, that a lot of fan favorites from Empires were going to be on this new SMP. It sounds like there might be some new people too. He didn't get into details because he didn't want to steal anybody's thunder. But for folks that are following and fans of folks from the Empires SMP, go and follow them and make sure you're keeping up on what's going on, because they're starting a new thing tomorrow. Man. Well, this is the front. I was expecting this to go somewhere in the guts of it. This is actually on the front. Yeah, wow. Not see that coming. That goes sideways like that. It's a hardcore world from Pix's screenshot. That makes sense. Pix is so busy with Survival Guide, I can see him doing something that would potentially be shorter term. They really got a lot of cool shapes going on here. And this faces up like that. Why is that not clicking? There we go. So there's little bars in there that we put on earlier today, and these black pieces connect to it and they click in. I'm actually surprised that that microphone is not in shot. It's so close, but that's very cool. Very slick. It's bigger than I thought. It is bigger than I thought. That feels about right. It feels a little small. Like if someone was to say, Joel, how big is a Polaroid camera? I would say that big. Like I would say it's probably just a little bit bigger. But then the last time I saw one, my hands were a lot smaller too, because I would have been 10. So yeah, interesting. And that's it for bag 2. So we got a lot of really cool stuff happening here. This feels like a lot left over maybe, but I don't think we missed anything. I feel like I would have known. I'll take one quick look at the top of this just to make sure. Where's that last picture? we're good. Nothing's missing. So those are all spare. They'll go in the spare bin, which is so full of little pieces like that. I need to get a new one. Cool. So this is the beginnings of the OneStep Polaroid SX-70 camera. That's going to be it for me today. Cosmic, if we can throw some potential raid options in chat, that would be fantastic. Obviously, some new things to announce. There's a new episode of the Spawn Chunks out. They come out every Monday. Hopefully, you're already subscribing, which, by the way, helps us out a ton. So if you are listening, watching on YouTube or your favorite podcast app to either the Spawn Chunks or the Citadel Cafe, clicking that little subscribe button on whatever platform it is immensely helpful to us. So please do that. You'll get notified when we have new episodes come out. We are very consistent with the Spawn Chunks. Citadel Cafe is about twice a month right now. I'm hoping to increase that to 4, but I've got to find some more co-hosts to do that with. So look for more of that. The Citadel Cafe is about sci-fi and fantasy entertainment, if you didn't know. And the Spawn Chunks, as we've mentioned earlier, is about Minecraft. There's links in the chat from Cosmic. And yes, Cosmic, Impulse sounds like a fantastic place to send everybody. And I do this once a week here, Fridays, Lego on stream. I also do Minecraft Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. So we'll be back tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday, back on the Citadel, working in West Hill, doing some riverscaping and landscaping, this time inside the town. So it'll be a little bit more interesting than what we did the other day. So that'll be fun. I have a big mountain to contend with. So there's going to be some holes to fill, some caves to cover up, that kind of thing. And I'm also going to be going with the Spawn Chunks member-only hangout tomorrow. That's at 10 o'clock Atlantic for those that are subscribed to the Patreon for the Spawn Chunks. It's a special thing we do once a month with our patrons, hanging out in the Discord with them and talking about what they're building in Minecraft. And they share a bunch of screenshots and stuff. So if you're part of the Spawn Chunks Discord, you can look forward to that. That's also available to download on the Patreon page later. So if you can't make it tomorrow morning, then you can always download that later. Do check out things like Twitter and Instagram for me. I'm hoping to post more on TikTok, but I don't do anything right now, so I'll just leave that under my hat until I have something to talk about. But look for things on Instagram and Twitter for new live links, new podcasts, new Lego streams. All of that stuff is available at Joel Duggan VODs on YouTube. All of these streams are archived on playlists. Often the Lego sets are within their own playlists. So there's like a 2023 and a 2024 list, but then there's also like the 4 videos that make up a small build. Those will be on their own playlist as well. So you can check that out. Last but not least, I mentioned this earlier, please check out Patreon. It's a great way to support your favorite creators. And I have one. It's $2 a month to join the Discord and continue to support me doing these streams. I very much appreciate it. And hold on to your butts. We're going to send you to Impulse SV, more than likely playing some Hermitcraft. And I'll see you tomorrow at 1 o'clock Atlantic. Bye for now.